Hello everybody, in this video we will cover muscles of the forearm posterior compartment. So this area is your forearm or antebrachial, and muscles can be divided into anterior and posterior compartment. Muscles in the same compartment carry on similar functions. So muscles of anterior compartment, because your muscles can only pull, they cannot push. So if you imagine you have muscles here and they pulling on your wrist or on your finger, you can see that they will flex, right? Because you pulling. So you flex anterior compartment, flex your wrist, flex your fingers, and we have pronator teres muscle and pronator quadratus, pronator teres, pronator quadratus that pronate your hand, and this is pronation. Now, if you have flexors and pronators, then on the posterior side, you will have antagonists. So you will have extensors, muscles that extend your wrist, extend your fingers, and supinate. So these muscles pronate. Now these muscles supinate your hand. And another muscle over here going to be muscles that abduct your thumb. And abduction means you're taking away. So it's going to do this, abduct your thumb, right? Okay. So plus to the posterior compartment, we have a muscle over here, just this muscle on the lateral side. This is brachioradialis. So it's a muscle of lateral compartment, and it has similar function to anterior compartment. So that just we will not include this muscle in the posterior compartment, right? So over here, where the thumb is our brachioradialis. And another muscle over here, right there, will be a conius muscle. We're also not going to include it into this muscle into posterior compartment. Let me show you these muscles. Two muscles first, right? So let's orient ourselves. This is our anterior compartment. This is pollex, right? So this one over here, this big muscle, this is brachioradialis. So that's a brachioradialis. And over here is our enconius. So you see how econius muscle and over here is our brachioradialis. 1 and 2. I didn't include this muscle into posterior or anterior compartment because it may count easier. So if we do not include brachioradialis, and if we don't include enconius, then we will have 5 superficial and 5 deep muscles. I want to remind you that on anterior compartment, we have 4 superficial, 4 deep. On the posterior compartment, we have 5 superficial and 5 deep muscles. Right? Now, muscles of the posterior compartment, superficial muscles, they have similar origin. So they originate into this bump over here, that is a lateral epicondyle of humerus. So that's a humerus bone, and this is lateral epicondyle. So they originate here, and they move towards your wrist and towards your fingers, right? Okay, so let's look at these muscles. Okay, so that's your thumb. So that's a lateral part. And this muscle, as I told you, it's a lateral muscle, brachioradialis. And then we have 2 muscles here, 1, 2. Both those muscles are extensors. Actually, all of them are going to be extensor. This one that has a longer tendon is called extensor carpi radialis longus. Because if you follow the tendon, it goes towards the carpal bone. So extensor carpi radialis longus. And then next to it, extensor carpi radialis brevis. So 1, 2. Now this muscle, you see tendons goes 2 digits. So this one, extensor digitorum, a little bit deep to it, this muscle over here, and you see the tendon goes to a little finger, so it's extensor digiti minimi, and this muscle over here is extensor carpi ulnaris. It's on the ulna side. So this is the ulna bone over here, and on the both sides of ulna bone, on the anterior compartment, you have flexor carpi ulnaris, and on the posterior compartment, you have extensor carpi ulnaris. Right, so those are our 5 superficial muscles of posterior compartment. Let's count them again. So lateral muscle, brachioradialis, not part of our count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All flexors. Flexor carpi radialis longus. Sorry, this one. Flexor carpi radialis longus with a long tendon. Next, flexor carpi radialis brevis. Flexor digitorum. Flexor digiti minimi. It flexes little finger, little digit, digiti minimi, and flexor carpi ulnaris. Right. Now, this is our aconius muscle, and this is more lateral is brachioradialis. Well, now we need to look at deep muscles here. Some of deep muscles cannot be shown on this model. We just don't see them, but we see their tendons. So you need to remove my superficial muscles. And the first muscle over here, this is our supinator, right? So here's our pronator, teres, and this is supinator. So those muscles are antagonists. Now over here, you have 1, 2, 3 muscles, but only 2 muscles can be seen, and the third muscle we can only see a tendon. This group of muscle mnemonic is brevis sandwich. So that means that brevis gonna be between 2 longus. So this is abductor, pollicis longus. So it's gonna abduct, take away your thumb. Abductor pollicis longus. This is extensor pollicis brevis, and one muscle over here we can only see the tendon, and this one is extensor pollicis longus. So that brevis between 2 longus. Abductor pollicis longus and 2 extensors. Extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus, and one more muscle that we cannot see, but the tendon will go to the, so it's right, so here's the tendon. So this one is extensor indicis, because it's gonna extend your index finger. So 5 muscles that are deep. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And the 5 that we cannot see, but we can see the tendon. 5. Supinator, our brevis sandwich, abductor, and abductor does this. Abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus, and the tendon that goes right here, extensor indicis. Okay, so that's it. So we have just very quick review. We have flexors and pronators. We have 4 superficial, 4 deep. Watch my previous video. That video covers anterior compartment muscles. This muscle over here is brachioradialis. Muscle over here would be anconeus. And then we have in posterior compartment 5 superficial and 5 deep, right? So we will have all extensors: extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi, and extensor carpi ulnaris. Then deep, we will have supinator, we will have our brevis sandwich, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus, and extensor indicis. Right? That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful.